Hey y'all, welcome to this energy check-in, and as always check out my description box below. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you all to all those who have followed me to my new channel, and all of you that are new subscribers. And I'd just like to say thank you all for just being a part of my journey, and I'm here to really help guide you on your own journey. But as a collective, we are strong and united. And when I say collective, I mean not only a worldwide collective, but a universal collection. Because we all are, what, for lack of better words, are star seeds here just for the human experience. And with that being said, I'd like you all to connect to Casey. She is in my description box down below, and I am promoting her and her channel, and not only her channel here on YouTube, but she is also on Etsy, where she sells a lot of her artwork and her wonderful collection of organites. And if you know anything about energy, organites are great about transmitting negative energy into positive energy. And she makes a wide variety of organites on her Etsy shop too. She also does that along with her light language artwork. Overall, Casey is just really artistically gifted, and she's also one of the life coaches that you can connect to, along with Brittany. And we are all here to help you become the best version of you. And the only way you become the best version of you is when you are connected to your essence. If you don't know how to properly connect to your essence, then by all means get some coaching. The Ultimate Life Coaching package is all designed about how to connect to your essence with the least amount of resistance, because the thing that's going to resist the most with that is ego, because ego likes to be in control. And one thing about ego and essence is that they share the same energy core within you, and they're kind of like the yin and yang of you. And if you followed me on my old channel, this is a similar reading to a previous reading, but I'm also going to be pulling out these two extra cards here. Maybe it's a nice segue to my new channel here. And with that being said, I'm just going to dive into this reading itself. But like, this energy check-in that we're doing here is very similar to the one I did previously on my old channel. But since we're starting off fresh here, we'll see where this particular reading goes at this particular time. Because we could draw up similar cards all the time, but get different messages. Because within each tarot card are an infinite amount of messages we could get from them. It all depends on what energies, for me, are surrounding us in our journeys at this particular moment in time. And with that being said, I'm just going to dive into this energy check-in. And we're leading off with the feminine energy. And she's reflecting back on all the transformations she had to go through to become the Empress. Because I'm really seeing the Empress energy here. But one of the things about being an Empress as in a feminine energy is that you realize that you have a lot of value. But one thing you want to keep in check, when I'm really seeing why I'm calling yourself to keep in check, is that there could be a lot of spiritual ego that can be attached to that too. Because you value yourself. Nothing wrong with valuing yourself, but this is why I'm seeing the Four of Pentacles kind of surrounding her, because it's all about balance and balancing out all four alchemical elements, because that's what I'm seeing within those pentacles is all four alchemical elements, and realizing that you're always constantly having to keep yourself balanced. And if your ego is out of line, it's going to be really hard for you to really have a genuine balance of your own energies. And if you don't know what the alchemical elements are, it's earth, water, air, and fire. And all those alchemical elements have, altruistic values to them. And if you don't know what those are, by all means, get my passion book And I'm going to be linking my passion book into my Etsy shop too, which is going to be part of my G2P music channel. Um, and those channels interlink. And the reason I say that because music itself is a frequency, and it's one of the frequencies that penetrate everybody because most people do not build a defense against music. They might have musical preferences, but that still comes from, our ego. So that's just our egos playing out. And it's not necessarily the music itself, but sometimes we can have resistance towards music, especially if we're not really willing to face some of the challenges that we're going through in our life currently. And that's when our egos play out the most because it's designed to protect us. A lot of times when we're doing the inner work, we could trigger our ego. And we might not even realize that we're doing it. And we can actually become defensive when we do the work on our own. That's why having coaching is so important because you're going to sync up with somebody that is willing to pair up with you to help you through your inner work because they're not you. They're not going to be disturbed by your own ego. And since they're not affected by your own ego, they can actually look inside of you and help you get connected in an authentic way where you might be doing the work on your own and not realizing that your ego is kind of outsmarting you. And I say it in that terms because the ego thinks that. The ego thinks it can outsmart you anytime because it knows it's you. Well, I should say it's part of the human experience. And ego has a strong survival mechanism in it. And due to the way it's structured and designed within you, the ego is made to survive. And that comes down to like the reptilian brain, which is located more in the brain stem of your brain. And so it's impulsive. It just reacts. It reacts. It reacts, and it has to react in order to protect you physically, because you have to be able to react within a split second, and your life can depend on it. So that's what we call the reptilian brain, because it's been with us the longest, and it's what the part of our brain that actually made us survive in our primitive states of being a human. No, I don't want to go through the whole evolutional cycle of being a human here on Earth. If you guys want to, you can pull out a biology book and do your own study and research on that. Because when it comes to like evolution and that, there's some disputable conclusions that people have come to determine for themselves when it comes to evolution. But evolution happens on a daily basis because evolution is just about change. And we ourselves are constantly changing because our energy within us is constantly changing. Energy is never stagnant. It is always changing. And that's the same thing within us too. We're constantly working on our inner masculine and feminine energy and keeping our desires at bay. What our desires are what create passion within us. And that's what I'm really seeing here is our passion here. And right now, the feminines are really feeling their own passionate connection with themselves. And they're really kind of just focusing on that aspect of them. And they realize that they're constantly having to balance out their masculine and feminine energy and having that in check before they can even have union with a person. Because I'll get to this part of it here after this, but when it comes to this connection, not one of us can deny it's there. It's eternally there. The main reason is that our person is us, just living a different human experience, and we're meant to be in union with them, but it requires the correct inner work within us to be able to have that union with a person. So that requires a lot of introspection of ourselves. That's what I'm seeing the hermit here. But the hermit holds up the light, and the light sheds onto the heartbreak over here that I'm seeing. And heartbreak is covered in the storm that's going on. And the storm is representing our emotions. And before we actually do our inner work, we don't actually do it until we're triggered. And those triggers come from basically our ego. But our ego is reflecting on past traumas in our life and is saying, don't do this. Don't be connected. Because when you are, those are what caused heartbreak in the past. And it was always your person that did it. Or a person that you were connected to in your life. And that could be parents too. Parents are our first connection that we've had when we were kids. And they were our first source of nurturing. In regards to if it was a healthy nurturing or not, it was still our first experience of being nurtured. And so a lot of us, when we're looking for a relationship with someone else, we're actually, before we do our inner work, are seeking someone to nurture us. Because we haven't found out how to nurture ourselves. And all the inner work we're doing on ourselves, what's in the Union Package and Master Program, is ways of nurturing ourselves. Because we're healing ourselves. Healing is a nurturing aspect. And so when we go in, we're actually healing ourselves. And when we heal ourselves, our masculines feel that. And we're just talking about energy here. So masculines could be a man or a woman. But when it comes to energy, we carry both the masculine and feminine energy within us. But as twin flames, usually one carries more than the other. And one is, labeled the divine masculine, and one is labeled the divine feminine. And right now we're kind of see them playing out in this reading right here too. And excuse that interruption. And so right now the masculine is actually reflecting back on his own emotions, because cups are emotions, but we're seeing 3 cups in front of him. And 3 cups kind of represent like heartbreak. And 3 swords are kind of mirroring it here too. But there's a lot more to 3 of cups too than just heartbreak, but it's really playing out in the heartbreak here because it's being tied to the 3 swords here. And what the masculine is doing is that he's going through, some challenging times with his own family. But a lot of those family rooted belief systems are kind of behind him. That's what we're seeing in the background, and they're kind of far off in the back. He's not even really focused on family issues right now. He's actually protecting himself by wearing that cloak and saying like, I don't want to deal with this stuff anymore. I want to focus on what I'm really passionate about. But beside him are those 2 cups, but they're separated from the 3 cups. He doesn't want these 2 energies entangled with each other. He wants to protect the 2 cups that he really cherishes in his life and keep them separated from the 3 spilled cups that he had experienced before he could experience the 2 cups with his person. And he realizes that with all the 3 cups that are spilled in front of him, he don't really cherish the 2 cups that he shares with his person that shows below him. And without his person, and actually his person's basically you're kitted quarter in this reading, meaning that you're now in this corner, meaning that you kind of tie in all these things that are happening within the connection, which is showing me that it's the work that you're doing that are making these transformations happen for your masculine. So if it wasn't for you doing your work, and you wouldn't be an empress if you weren't doing the work, because you wouldn't be able to value yourself unless you were doing the work. And you wouldn't have learned how to balance out your masculine and feminine energy unless you were doing the work. And if you don't know how to do this for yourself yet, then by all means, get the work in my description box below. that's the proper work you need to do for yourself so you can be in union. So you can be in union not only with yourself, but even with your person. Because as a twin flame, we're meant to be in union with a person. Because it's that unification that we have and the energy that we actually operate when we are in union with a person that's going to transform our world. That's why your person is always on your mind and you always feel them. And that's why your person cannot deny your pull that he has on his life too. No matter what's surrounding him in his life, he feels you and sees you all the time. That's why there's cups around you, and that's why your image is right there. You might not be physically in a 3D life right now, but you are there with him. Just as much as you feel him, he feels you too. You both cannot deny this connection. In fact, that's why he is focusing on those heartbreaks and wondering why he spent so much time allowing that energy to keep him from you, when he realizes that there's not going to be anybody better than you for him than you. And right now, he's just trying to balance out things in his own life so that he can feel like he's even a match for you. Because right now, he doesn't feel like he is. That's why he's looking back on his past situations, wondering why all these things kept him from being with you. When he realizes that that connection he has with you, he can't find anywhere else but with you. So continue to do your work. That's what it's there for. The work is to transform you and also to transform the world around you. Because you, as a twin flame, your ultimate purpose here is to transform Earth so it's in its highest frequency. Right now, it feels like the Earth is in, there's that saying, it's always darkest before the dawn. Right now, the Earth doesn't look like it's in the greatest shape right now, energetic-wise. There's a lot of things that are surfacing, but they're surfacing so we can take care of them, because they're kind of being hidden. If you weren't really consciously aware of what's going on, energetic-wise, they're kind of being hidden from what we call the 3D eye. And a lot of those things that were hidden from the general population are now starting to be exposed for what they are. And that's going to happen in a lot of, like, in politics, in media, in businesses. It's going to be exposed everywhere. Everything that was trying to be hidden from the general public and try to be masquerade as being great, but when it was actually more or less evil. And we do live in a dualistic world, but there has to be balance, right? We can't just have evil entities be at the top of the quote-unquote food chain here on Earth and basically robbing us of the life we're meant to live here. We're meant to be abundant here. But if you look at most of the world, it's not abundant. But it's the elite, the secret society, that is robbing us of our abundance by hoarding it for themselves. And then making it impossible for the general public to be able to live an abundant life, even though the earth is abundant. But they like to give this projection out to the general public that the earth isn't abundant, that the earth can't sustain all of us. So what they're trying to do is attack natural resources and destroy them. And that's happening right now. And it's playing out more or less in California. And it's probably going to start there and kind of sweep across the nation. But we can stop that just by saying no. We just don't allow them to do what they plan on doing. Like COVID. COVID is just a scheme by them to distract us from being abundant. Because they mandated, certain restrictions that made it impossible for people to be financially independent. By closing down entrepreneurs' stores that were family oriented and not corporately run, because the corporate ones already have basically given themselves to the dark side, so to speak. And it's the family businesses that were actually operating with integrity. But the family owned businesses were basically shining light on these corporations that manipulate and control people so that they can rape them. Not just physically, but financially and spiritually. I mean, basically in all four alchemical elements, because they know about the alchemical elements. And if they could keep you impoverished on all four alchemical elements, beginning with pentacles, because pentacles are the easiest thing to impoverish people with, because it's the lowest frequency. It doesn't take so much work for them to impoverish people that way. Because most of them haven't done the inner work. They don't want to. They don't want to face that shadow side of them. Because if they did, they would realize that they're raping people. And if they're raping people, that means they don't even love themselves. And if they come to terms with that, that means they would actually have to do inner work. And guess what? That's why we're here to show them how the power within us is far greater than any power that can even reside here on earth. And we're going to show them that. But we have to do the work ourselves first before we could be that shining example for them. See, the light that leads us will lead them too. We just have to show the rest of the world how that works. How we are led by our inner world. And we're led by our inner guidance. And how we are empowered within us. How we don't lack anything. And how we are abundant in all alchemical elements within us. But we just have to reconnect to our essence. We don't reconnect to anything first but our essence. And when we're connected there, the rest of the world is connected. Because it's going to mirror our inner world. The outer world mirrors our inner world. That's why we see so much chaos going on in the world right now. Because a lot of people live with chaos inside of them. But if we show them how to be connected and to do the inner work properly so that they have a beautiful world within them, then that inner world that they have, that they created for themselves that's beautiful, will transform the world that we live in a 3D sense. It works that way. 100%. But we gotta show them first. And we gotta show them authentically how to do that. So to become the Empress requires that inner work. And the Empress, everybody looks up to the Empress for her beauty and for her guidance. And she didn't become Empress from lack. She become Empress because she's abundant in all four alchemical elements. If you want to be abundant in all four alchemical elements, do the work. If you don't know how to do work, check out my description box below. Get the Union package and the Master Program. Those are the two packages that you need to transform yourself so you can be abundant. Well, I love you a lot, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.